In this video, I'm going to go into detail and show you all the secrets on how to properly structure an IUL for one of my clients that I just helped here recently. I'm even going to go into the details of fees. A lot of times people say the IUL is too expensive. It has high fees, high cost. Now the reality is that's true if it's not designed correctly. But I'm going to show you a properly designed IUL in comparison to the fees of the average 401k. You're going to love what you see. It's going to be a little bit technical, a little bit detailed, but do me a favor. Go ahead and comment your takeaways. You can find me on social media, DM me. I'd love to connect and help you implement an IUL. And if you get value from this video, be sure to follow, subscribe, so I could put more videos like this for you. All right, so let's dive right in. So in this example, I have a client. He makes around $3,000 per paycheck, so it's around $6,000 per month. And when I met with him, he said, David, I want to put 10% per paycheck, so $300 every 2 weeks, aka $600 per month. So he says, I want a $600 a month policy, and this is for the purposes of cash value. So what we do is we minimize the death benefit starting at his age of 29, turning 30. So the minimum death benefit for $600 a month, $7,200 per year is $192,000 of coverage. And again, this is designed not to really even care about the death benefit. We want to minimize that because when you minimize the death benefit, you reduce the internal cost and fees. And we're going to go over that here in a bit. So let's look at what this does for him. $7,200 per year. You're going to see it's going to be accumulating over time. Now, this column here represents what's accumulating. This column here represents how much he has access to if he were to borrow money. So what you can see is in the first couple of years, he put in 7,000, 14,000, right, 21,000. In the first year, he has access to 3,000, then 9,000, then 17,000. So basically, the longer he has it, the more ability he has to borrow against his accumulated value. And you're going to see here in year 5, there's 35,000 there. It's around $32,000 of accumulated value, almost close to that 90% mark. But again, the longer you have it, 51,000 of the 52. By the time you get to the 10th year, 82,500 of the 82,800, and then which is they're like above 90%. And then after the 10th year, you now have 100%. Equivalency here, your ability to borrow against your accumulated value. So if along the way he needed to access his money for an emergency or even for an opportunity, let's say he is 10 years into this thing and he wants to purchase a car for $40,000. Instead of getting a loan from a bank or financing the car, he says, you know what, let me borrow from myself. I'm going to borrow from my policy $40,000. I'll buy the car cash, and then I will pay myself instead of paying a bank because the bank is going to charge them interest, right? So his money is accumulating. He can access it penalty-free, tax-free, and no mandatory repayment terms. If he ends up never paying back, that's fine. Why? Because the death benefit in the future would pay off the loan if he were to pass away and not pay it back. So again, a lot of flexibility there. But again, he's doing this for retirement. He has flexibility along the way. So fast forward, after 10 years, he put in $72,000. Fast forward, let's say by the time he turns 65 years old, he's no longer funding. So he put in a total of $252,000 in this account. Now at current rates, it's showing 6% on the S&P 500. That $252,000 grew to around 760, between 728 to 767,000 by the time he wants to turn on a lifetime income. Now, here's, in my opinion, the incredible part about this. So let's say he has around $700,000 there. Normally, in a retirement account, when you start to take distribution, what happens? You have to pay taxes on the money, right? Because this is where Uncle Sam gets you. Hey, you put money in a 401k, you put money in an IRA. You get the write-off today, whoop-de-doo. But when you retire, that's when Uncle Sam says, okay, my turn. He knocks on your door and says, time to give me a portion of my money, 20, 25, 30, 35%, depending on how things are in the future. So in this account, there's no taxes. Why? Because you are borrowing against your policy. If you notice, in this example, there's $728,000 there, and you could borrow that value. So if you notice, as your account is continuing to grow, you are going to be borrowing from your policy in your retirement. And because it's a loan, loans are not taxable. Therefore, you don't have to pay income taxes. There'll be a whole nother video on the details of that, but just know it's tax-free. In this example, the lifetime income can be $50,000 per year, okay? Tax-free for life. So look how awesome this is. Let's say over the course of 35 years, you put in $250,000. So it took you 35 years to put it in. And in 5 years, you're going to take out basically what you put in, right? You put in $600 a month, $7,000 per year. You're able to now take out $50,000 per year. So basically what you put in, you've taken all of it out in 5 years. And here's the magic. You still continue to receive your contribution. So as you can see here, let's say you live until the age of, let's say, 89. You've taken out 1.26 million of tax-free income. So you put in 250, you took out 1.26. So basically you received an additional $1 million on top of your contribution, tax-free with zero stock market risk. So massive, massive, massive benefit on the retirement side. Now, here's the question that people always ask me, and here's the debate that your 401k advisor is going to say, well, what about the fees? What about the fees? Now, I understand why they're saying this, because if I would have given you a high death benefit, the cost of insurance would have been high, so it would be eating away at your cash value. But because we did it the right way and we minimized the death benefit so that we could maximize your cash value, this is a max funded policy. Let me show you the fees in comparison to, let's say, a mutual fund. Okay, so this is the policy and expense page here. In this example, every company is a little bit different, but in this example here, policy and expense pages. So at the age of 30, you're going to notice that put in 7,200. Okay, over the course of 5 years, you put in 36,000. Now the fees in those first 5 years, it's out of the 36,000 that you put in, there's $5,000 in fees, which can seem, David, that's a high percentage. Early on, the percentages present higher, but again, you got to look at this as a long-term vehicle because the fees don't matter in one segment. What matters is overall how much did you pay in fees. So let's fast forward. By the time you retire, and guys, if you understand this, you're going to love this, and you're going to have a great reason why you should incorporate an IUL into your retirement strategy. So by the age of 64, in this example, you put in 252,000. Out of that 252,000, 50,000 of that went into fees. Now again, what did the fees get you? It got you $190,000 of life insurance. So it's not like that 50,000 is going into the agent's pocket. That's not how it works. Now that's how it works with stock market accounts. Whatever fees you're paying basically for the advisors to manage your money. So you're putting money in their pocket out of your growth, right? So in this example, you put in 250,000. 50,000 of that went into fees, which the fees purchased you your life insurance, which I think is a great trade. Now, $50,000. Here's the question: is that a lot? Well, my question is compared to what, right? So what I did, I went in here and I typed in what is the average 401k advisor fee. So here's an article. They studied 860 plans, okay, between 0 to 500 and then $1 million and above. And you're going to see here that the average, right here, The average fee, so some are up to 9%, which is crazy, but the average fee is 7%, which again, it could be high, it could be lower, but on average 7%. So 7% fees. So I'm going to come in and type this in, exact same scenario. You have a plan here. You have a plan here for 35 years, okay? Same rate of return, 6%, same amount contributed per year. And we're going to put in the 0.7%, calculate. So you're going to see here that over the course of 35 years, if your money is in a 401k, a mutual fund, and you're being charged the average of 0.7%, with some are higher, guys, you would have paid $121,000 in fees. $121,000 in fees. So would you rather pay $121,000 in fees, or would you rather pay $51,000 in fees, right? So when people talk about the IUL and say it's very expensive, high fees, that's only if you give a high death benefit, which again is why you have to work with an agent that knows what they're doing. Now, this $51,000, what does it get you? It gets your family almost $200,000 of death benefit. This fee right here of $120,000, what does that get you? That gets you management, meaning when the money goes up, you pay your advisor a fee. When the money goes down, you still pay your advisor a fee. So you want to see here $728,000 after fees compared to $728,000 after fees. So if you end up with the same accumulation, right, 700,000 roughly, okay, but in one you get $192,000 of death benefit, zero stock market risk. Which one would you rather take? And on top of that, this has not factored in, this one right here has not factored in taxes. So let's say you're still paying 20, 25, 30, 35% taxes. Let's say 15%, 18%, whatever it is. This 728 is still going to be less than this 728. Why? Because this you get to receive tax free. I'm telling you, if you understand this, you're going to say, David, why doesn't everybody do this? Because most people just get whatever their job offers them. So if their job is offering them a 401k, that's what they're going to do. If their job is offering them an IUL, that's what they would do. But no jobs offer IULs because the employer gets the tax write-off, the tax deduction, the tax benefit through a 401k. So it was a 401k was created for the employer just as much as it was created for the employee. An IUL you get through an insurance company independently. So again, this is why if you knew about it, you would do it. But most people don't know where to search, don't know about it. So this is what it would look like for an individual starting at age 30 to put $300 aside every paycheck, $600 a month, and grow a tax-free retirement. All right, so that's the video. I mentioned to you it'd be a little bit detailed, a little bit complex, but I think we made it simple. So here's what I would say. If you learned from this video and you wanted a properly designed IUL for yourself, now I will mention this, you can't do it for like $100. You can't do it for $50. There's gonna be a minimum amount of $500 a month and up so that you could actually see some growth. And then the older you are, the more you want to contribute to allow that money to compound. But I'd love to set a scheduled time to really go into detail for you and really determine if an IUL is a good fit for you. It's not a fit for everybody, but it can be a fit for a lot of people who never would have considered it until they work with an agent that knows how to design it properly. Now, with that said, I look forward to connecting with you here in the near future. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.